Imagine you paid full price for a game. You played it for years. Then, one night, you press start and see a message you never expected. License unavailable. The console is still in your house. The controller is still in your hand. But the game you bought is suddenly asking for permission to exist.
Wait, what do you mean license unavailable? Come on, I literally just played this yesterday.
Alex owns the television, the controller, the storage drive, and the console sitting beneath the screen. But access to the game depends on his account, the platform, and sometimes a remote server. He owns the machine. What he purchased inside it may be something very different. A disc does not give you ownership of the game's copyright, but it gives you something practical. An object you can keep, lend, resell, collect, or sometimes play without asking a storefront to confirm your account. Physical ownership creates options that disappear when access is tied to one company. Then the transition stopped being hypothetical. Sony announced that production of physical discs for all new PlayStation games will end in January 2028. Games released on disc before the deadline are not being erased, but every new release after it moves into a world where access is digital by default. The direction was visible before the announcement. The PS5 Pro arrived without an integrated disk drive. Players who want physical compatibility must purchase the drive separately. The premium console still supports discs, but physical access is no longer included by default. And the detachable drive contains another strange compromise. During initial setup, it requires an internet connection to pair with the console. You can physically own the console, the drive, and the disc, yet the system still needs a remote service before those pieces recognize one another. Sarah shows Alex the sentence, "Most players never read. The software is licensed to you, not sold. The license is personal, limited, and non-transferable." The buy button may feel like ownership, but the legal agreement describes permission to use someone else's software under defined conditions. The same terms explain that online services may end, and even offline modes are not guaranteed forever. This does not mean every digital game will disappear. It means continued access can depend on decisions made after your purchase, by companies you do not control. Sony is also closing the PS3 and PS Vita stores globally in July 2027. Players will no longer make new purchases on those devices. Previously purchased content is expected to remain downloadable for the foreseeable future. That phrase is reassuring, but it is not the same as forever. This already happened with The Crew. Ubisoft removed the game from stores and later shut down its servers. After March 2024, owners could no longer access it on any supported platform. The files, hardware, and purchase history could still exist, but the experience itself was gone. When every release becomes account-bound, another ecosystem disappears with the disc. Lending games to friends, trading finished titles, buying cheaper used copies, donating collections, and discovering forgotten games decades later. Digital convenience removes friction, but some of that friction was also freedom. A physical game can be sold by competing retailers and resold by players. A console download usually comes from one controlled storefront. When there is no disc, no used copy, and no alternative store, the platform gains greater control over price, availability, discounts, and which titles remain visible. And digital games are genuinely convenient. They arrive instantly, update automatically, travel with your account, and require no shelf space. Most players did not choose less ownership because they wanted less control. They chose speed and convenience, one download at a time. The dependency arrived quietly inside the benefit. The same logic is spreading into physical products. Some HP printers use firmware-based dynamic security to block cartridges with non-HP chips. HP also warns that future firmware may block cartridges that previously worked. The printer is physically yours, but software can still decide which supplies it accepts. Cars are becoming software platforms too. Polestar, for example, sells a software upgrade that increases the power of motors already installed in the vehicle. The physical capability exists inside the car, but the amount you can use can depend on a separately purchased digital permission. Now imagine the same model everywhere. Your television needs an account. Your doorbell needs a cloud service. Your car needs software authorization. Your appliances require subscriptions for advanced features. You still own the objects, but more of their behavior is controlled somewhere outside your home. The lesson is not that every download, update, or subscription is bad. Digital distribution can improve accessibility, reduce manufacturing, deliver repairs quickly, and connect people instantly. The problem begins when it becomes the only option, and the user has no offline path, no transfer right, no repair choice, and no preservation plan. Real digital ownership does not require returning to the past. It could mean permanent offline modes, transferable licenses, family inheritance, competing stores, repairable hardware, exportable saves, and preservation copies after official support ends. Technology can be convenient without making access temporary. Alex cannot stop an entire industry alone, but he can choose products with offline modes, keep physical copies when possible, backup saves, support preservation projects, avoid unnecessary account dependencies, and read what the word buy actually means. Consumer habits helped create this future, and they can still influence what comes next. The future where you own nothing will not arrive with one dramatic announcement. It arrives through convenience. One account, one subscription, and one disappearing option at a time. Ownership is not simply holding plastic. It is having the power to keep using what you paid for after the company moves on. And that power is worth protecting. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep exploring how modern technologies really work, from 5G and AI to networking, cybersecurity, cloud computing, satellites, and the future of telecommunications, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, we break down complex engineering concepts into clear, practical, and engaging content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.